All right, everybody, here we go. Little drum roll. Little do 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 do. Okay, that was ridiculously silly. Sorry. But hey, welcome to the Wedding Vision Workshop. I'm your host, Mama Katie. This is a brand new channel, brand new series that'll help you all with getting ready for your wedding, getting all the planning done. I'm going to take a little different approach than a lot of people take. But before we get into that, hey, I want to know, how is engagement season going for you guys? Who's engaged? Would you believe I've got like five couples in my own family right now that are all going crazy? It's insane. Fifth one came in tonight. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's so crazy. So share with us your stories. I want to know in the chat, how did you guys get engaged? Some of the really good stories we'll put on a later episode or something, because I do want to do an episode later about to help the guys with the whole, how do we get engaged and make this really fun kind of thing. Anyway, so while you're here, all the normal stuff, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. This is a brand new channel, so I would love to have as many people on here as humanly possible as fast as we can. Because this is all the stuff that, hey, we've been talking about these same questions for generations. Seriously. So let's see if we can get into the fun here. Um, let's see what's next. What is the Wedding Vision Workshop? So let's just kind of share that with you. I came up with this system about 15 years ago. I was hearing some things at some bridal shows, seeing some things at some bridal shows, and thought, we need to do this a little bit differently. It's an easy and fun way for the two of you to plan your wedding. Yeah, both of you, okay? Plan your wedding together as a team, okay? Super important. Takes two to go down the aisle. You both need to have a say. You both are having a vision in there. I know some of the guys, you say you don't, but it's in there. You just haven't figured it out. Haven't figured out the right words yet as far as how to get it out there. And that's a culture thing. It's okay. It's no big deal. We'll figure it out together, okay? So there's all kinds of tips, and I got some fun exercises so that the two of you can create your vision together, set your priorities together. We're going to save you some money together. We're going to do that. And most of all, keep your sanity, because this process will drive you crazy. I promise, if you don't do it together as a team. Okay, it works for everybody, the brides, the grooms, my LGBTQIA couples. I just love you guys. You are the best. Young couples, old couples. I am no spring chicken, but I sure love my couples that are like my age and older that are getting married. I saw one the other day, they were 84, and they were like, they dated a long, long time ago, got married, had their own lives, and then came together in their extreme old age and are they got married. It's amazing. So now I want to be for real with you. I'm really good at Christian and non-denominational. I don't know Muslim. I don't know Hindi. I've been to a Hindi wedding, super fun, loved it. The big Indian ones, I don't know. But here's the deal. I want to learn too, okay? Some of the Native American ones, I've had some influences in some of my ceremonies, but to be at a real Native American one, I don't know. So I want to learn just like you guys are learning. So we can all do this together. So I'll get some segments going on some of those at some point too. Um, we're going to learn what's necessary and what isn't. Some of it's going to be like super necessary. Some of it's going to be, it'd be nice, but it's not necessarily necessary. And some of it's just going to be absolute garbage, okay? But as an industry, we tend to hype people up a little bit so that they buy more. And that's one of the things we'll talk about. So, the whole thing with this is it's simple, it's customizable. You guys are building your own lists, you're setting your own priorities, and we'll just kind of go from there. So, now, who am I? Mama Katie, okay. Who am I to be telling you all this stuff? What does she know, you know? I'm a preacher's kid. I was raised in this nonsense, so I was the one setting the tables and folding the little programs, every Sunday. And I was helping Dad set out the baptism water and the communion cups and so weddings. We did a lot of weddings. Just saying. So um, I kind of took that to a weird direction. I got into movies and stage shows and concerts and that kind of stuff. Um, I worked for the State Film Commission um, and worked on some stuff. Now I'm going to date myself here, okay? Independence Day, the first one. If you saw the air base in the middle of the desert, deserted, where they were hiding, kind of thing. Um, I told him where to go get that. Yay. The bodyguard, the boathouse that got blown up on the lake, we looked for that thing for 9 months. It was great. Kingpin, the first time I saw that script, I was like, oh my God, this is insane. They actually brought it down a peg or two from what I saw. Okay. So, um, but anyway, I took that to a weird level and I um, eventually went on to work on the world's largest proscenium stage. The stage deck was an acre. Just the deck, just the stage. We had elevators and waterfalls and turntables and people flying out of the ceiling and oh it was insane, but it was so much fun and it gave me a lot of really good experience that, believe it or not, comes in handy with this. I met a couple of friends when I left the industry. I left the area totally is what I did. And with that it was like, okay, so now what do I do? I'm in this new place, we kind of go from there. And they suggested that I get into wedding planning. So that sounds kind of weird. And they said, well, think about it. Just kind of think about it for a minute. You're talking a stage, you've got a cast, you've got a crew, you've got lighting, sound, costumes, set design, you got a green room. That's kind of the green room is the hospitality, and I was feeding people meals all day and that kind of thing. So your wedding reception would be the green room, I guess. So, um, but anyway, it made perfect sense. This is all a show. That's all this is. So, I've been a wedding planner now for over 20 years, and I've taught people how to be wedding planners. I've done venue sales and management. I've done catering. I've worked in tuxedos, florists, equipment rental. I'm not an expert in any of this stuff. Believe me, that's why I'm not doing it. Okay. But I've been in it enough to where I can help you with a few tips here and there. Okay. Or I can bring in some experts that really know their stuff. So that's kind of the hot plan. Now, as you can tell, I'm not the most techy person on the planet, okay? Um, I I don't know how to edit. This is going to be really raw stuff, at least for now, till I do learn how to edit, okay? But it's okay. This is just a little conversation going back and forth. And once I figure out how to work the chats, I might be doing some lives at some point. I just got to figure that part out. So we'll get there. Um, The sessions will be about 10 to 30 minutes, depending on what we're talking about, okay? Most of them will be around 10, 15 minutes. When we start getting into the exercises, we're going to actually have some couples doing their exercises on Zoom, and so that you can see the process firsthand. those are going to be the longer ones. Those are going to be the 30 minutes and more kind of thing. So I just wanted to set you up for that before we get there. So, um, and every so often, I'll be able to bring in some experts, maybe on florals or hair and makeup, which I know nothing about. um, I know I was thinking today about bar service, and because someone was talking on one of the chats about um, non-alcoholic weddings, and they were doing like a soda bar, and what were some of the things that they could do. And so that would be some fun stuff to get into is what do you want to do for your bar? How do we choose our wine? How do we choose our beer? How do we know how much to order? All that kind of stuff. What's our liability? Because believe me, with the bars, there's a liability. You got to know that stuff. So we'll bring the experts in and discuss a lot of this really fun stuff. So, and like I said, we'll do some Zooms to work the exercises. If I can figure out how to do a Zoom live and get a bunch of us together, we might just do that. That might be kind of fun. So one that we'll go some over, we'll go, blah, blah. We'll go over some frequently asked questions on some of these sessions because hey, it's been the same questions for ages. It's okay. So it's just we don't go to weddings that often to know unless you're really in the middle of it. So, and one of the things that I really want to get into on a regular basis is the wedding politics. The same situations have been happening for, again, generations. So let's go into how do we give our families tools? How do we listen to their concerns? All that kind of stuff. So we'll go over a whole bunch of that stuff. So what's coming up? What are we going to work on really shortly? Um, hey, we're in it now. Let's start planning. And it's not going to be the dress. It's not going to be the venue. It's going to be a whole lot of other stuff that needs to happen first. And we need to get prepped before the wedding shows because we're going to go from Christmas Jan 1, man, those wedding shows start bouncing. It's ready. We're on like Donkey Kong. So, um, and if you've never been to a wedding show, you need to know how to survive a wedding show. Okay, so we're going to go over how to start our planning, how to survive a wedding show. And in fact, you know what? Think right now, I think right now we're going to start our very first thing. Let's get started on this wedding planning right now because I want you to be ready to survive this all and have a where you're not going crazy, right? So the very first thing you're going to do, at least as soon as this video is over. Okay, wait till the video is over. It's all good. The very first thing you're going to do tonight is you are going to go establish a wedding email address. Yeah, tonight. We're going to do that tonight, okay? Anything wedding, any contact with, if you throw it at me, any contact with vendors, any contact with your wedding party. If it's wedding, it's going to go to that wedding email address. And that way it's not going to get mixed up in all your emails, and your email will survive. Because believe me, if you use your regular email address, um, it's not going to last past the first wedding show, I promise you. Some of these wedding shows are ridiculous and they are going to start hitting you up right out of the gate. So let's start your wedding email address tonight, okay? We'll get that part done and life will be so much easier once you do that. It'll be awesome. Um, yeah, I think that's everything I've got for now. Some of the other fun sessions we're going to have coming up, we're going to have a Weddingzilla session because no one wants to be the Weddingzilla. I'm sorry. But I want to give you tools so that you're not the Zilla. And if it's not you anyway, it's going to be the moms or the bridesmaids, or I promise you, someone is going to go Zilla on you. I've seen Groomzillas. I've seen all kinds of crazy Zillas. So we'll talk about wedding Zillas. we're going to talk about a no wedding weekend. What the heck is that? I'll explain when we get to that. So, how do you pick your wedding party? That one's been really big on the chats lately. Because, well, when we get to that, well, in the next week or two, we are going to talk about how to pick your wedding party. Take your time, less is more. I'll just give you a little teaser with that, okay? So, if any of that sounds like fun, I want you to subscribe. I want you to like this video because that helps me. Obviously, this is the first one, so I have no followers, right? I have no likes yet, and I want to make this thing blow up for you guys so that you've got it here, okay? This is a passion of mine, and I'm really excited with being able to share all the free advice. By the way, there will be a book very soon coming out where you will be able to have all of this information in front of you as we do this too. So, and it's, by the way, it's going to have all your lists, your itineraries, everything wedding is going to be in there. And a lot of the material I take for this is going to be in that book as well. So, just wanted to give you that heads up. And if you have any ideas of other stuff that you'd like to see, let me know. I'd love to see it. So send it to me on that wedding email address that we're going to get tonight. So, so anyway, I think that's all that I have right now. I'm so glad you tuned in. Thank you so much for that. I greatly appreciate you. And we're going to be having videos. I'm going to get like a couple more in the next couple of days. So stick with me. Let's go wedding planning. So, welcome again to the Wedding Vision Workshop, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye bye.